One thing for sure, I learned a lot over the years after losing over 100 pounds. It taught me a lot of things about life. One of the biggest thing is you for sure need to stop taking it for granted. I had to stop taking life for granted, bruh. I didn't realize I was putting my life down a downward trajectory for the simple fact that I'm stuck eating comfort foods. I stayed doing the same bad habits that ultimately kept me at square one, kept me holding myself back. Self sabotage. Realizing that I didn't really had a big appetite. For real, I was truly coping. I was eating those big portions of foods, not realizing that I was chasing for comfort. It was the comfort. Food, it does something to your brain. That dopamine is something real crazy. Those dopamine rushes just, it's something about it, especially once you're dealing with a stressful environment. Your mindset ain't the healthiest, so you want to cope. And one of everybody's biggest cope is to go for the food. It's that high we're chasing for. But for me, it was always, big, unhealthy size portion foods, sweets, things of that nature that even to this day, I catch myself eating sweets, eating way more than I should because I'm coping. There's something in the outside realm that I'm dealing with that is kind of affecting me in the inside. So I gotta find a way to, distract myself from whatever I'm dealing with at the time. See, being obese, there's something more than you're just eating. You at this point right now, it's genetics, it's this and that. Really, for most of us, the main reason we're overweight, we're obese, we're catching ourselves overeating all the time, is ultimately we're just not happy with where we at life. And we're coping. Everybody that's overweight is coping. Hardcore. We're dealing with something outside of ourselves that's really affecting us in our mental. We're dealing with mental traumas. So we're going to try to cope in order to, numb that pain. Trust and believe, it's a big pain that we deal with. And if we keep ignoring it, if we don't face that head on, it's only just going to be a snowball effect where all you're going to do is just keep packing on the LBs, the KGs. You're going to get the mantit T's, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to be built like a damn circle over time. Keep looking in that mirror and hating every single second of what you are as a human being. And then you want to try to change it. You try the exercise routines, you try the diets. The big problem is it's hard. It's outside your comfort zone. It's something different. It's a lifestyle change. You have to truly change who you are as a person to become that person. So you have to eliminate those copes and face your reality head on now. That's the hard part. You trying to change your eating habits. You trying to introduce physical movements and activities. You trying to better yourself. That's outside of your normal self. That brought you into that square one. You be in that circle. You being that self-hate. You being who you are right then at your lowest, at your bottom. The reason why you're in that predicament, you're coping. And all you know is how to cope, but just don't know how to face the reality. But now you try to face the reality and it's still tough. So now you go back into coping, right back into that thing that brought you there in the first place. But once you pick yourself up on that and you become consistent, you understand you are dealing with something. You are just struggling with something. And you doing the steps necessary to break through those issues, that alone would ultimately transform you into a whole new being. You just taking those steps into being more self-aware, you conquering your traumas, and you just sticking towards the mission. Eventually, these new habits you're introducing to yourself is going to start becoming a norm for you. And ultimately, that's what's going to change you into this new individual. See, I work out like crazy all the time. You know, I be more self-aware of my calories, self-aware of my physical activity. Hell, being self-aware of how long I be on my phone, the people I mess with. But see, now it's all natural now, but these are habits built after 6 years of doing the same thing over and over again to finally become who I am now. Who I am now is an individual of self-investment, realizing I got potential to change. I want to change. I want a better life for me and the people around me. If you want a better life, you really got to understand what you're doing now to achieve a better life. Back then, I always wanted the abs, the body, the girlfriend, all that stuff back in the day when I was over 300 pounds. But was I doing the necessary steps to get that? Was I doing the necessary steps to change my individual, my physical frame, my mindset? Hell no. Still playing the game as usual, goddammit. Still eating all these big snacks. Watching porn all fucking day. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of coping back then. But not taking no action into changing the reality. The thing I'm facing right here, right now. My physical frame. The main thing that's keeping me hostage. To break hostage, to break out your inner prison, is by just going, taking action, and really just going with the motions. Sticking with the plan. Making it to where all of a sudden now it's muscle memory of what you do now, and now you become the new you. You become the new you. But the last thing you want to do is give up on you. Giving up on yourself is like the worst thing you can do. Because a lot of us like to bash ourselves. We give ourselves negative self-talk all the time. That all stems down to any sort of weight loss journey is we always tell ourselves, this is who we are. We only made up to be who I am. This person that's over 300 pounds, 400 pounds. Not realizing that you can do this shit without any surgery, supplements, cheating involved. Lost over 100 pounds in 10 months with just simply installing consistency, work ethic, and being fucking self-aware of who I am. Being self-aware of who you are, what you're capable of, what you're putting in your body, and being consistent day in, day out, bro. That's all it is. That's really the answer to your problems, to my problem. I finally learned that about that. And ultimately, when I lost that weight, now I realized the true meaning of, wow, you only got one life. And why would you waste it with that nonsense that you felt with yourself in your head? You told yourself all this garbage. If only you took action of being consistent. And that goes with everything that you do. It ain't even just weight loss. It goes to starting a business, with you being more sociable, understanding who you are in your career paths, self-investment. Learning that was the best thing I've ever learned, because if I never invested all this time, this energy towards myself, I'll still be at square one. I used to be just like you, bro. Like, y'all wouldn't believe that I was an insecure, pathetic loser. At least that's what I thought. I thought I was a pathetic loser, bro. The only sport I ever played was football, and I got injured. And after that, I was a heavy Call of Duty gamer. Play that all night, all day, bro. Like, come on now. I didn't think I was anything special. I didn't think I was able to be under 300 pounds, 280 for the longest. Like, Bro, at 5'8", being over 280 is just crazy. Even me being at 203 pounds currently, I could feel it. So I couldn't imagine being over 300 pounds right now, or even touching that number. But yet there's someone at my same height, or even higher, or even smaller than me, weighing 400 pounds, 500, my 600-pound life. How the fuck do we get there? That's people letting themselves go. They dealing with the most ultimate code, because ultimately they felt hopeless within themselves. The trauma was so great that the only thing that gives them comfort was the food, the dopamine. That was the one thing that didn't give you judgment. The one thing that always made you feel good in the moment. It just makes you feel good. But you yourself don't feel good naturally. You don't feel good about yourself, so you let yourself rot. Sickening. But everybody, including those people on those TV shows, have the potential. It's the switch right here. It's to switch this and just to take action. That's it. Just switch your mindset, invest in the better habits, day in and day out, put some fucking effort towards it, and watch how your life change. I put some effort towards my fucking life, and look how my life changed. I continuously put effort towards myself. So you put effort towards yourself, and just like everybody else, I'm trying to tell you, that's how you win in this fucking game called life.